As a reminder, everyone, as people are coming in, as a remind you that as people are coming in, I want to remind everyone, please keep your microphones muted. As a reminder, everyone, if you are coming in by the phone, please make sure you use *6 to mute or unmute. *9 is to raise your hand, and we will see that we will call your name when we get to questions and answers. Also to remind you, once we say questions, we remind you to please raise your hand. Name will be called. Any questions you have, you can also put it into the chat. Also to remind you, you can also put your questions into the ADA group page, and we will answer those questions the best we can, or we will forward it to the MTA as well. So please remind you, let's keep the microphones muted. Anyone interrupts 3 times will be removed, period, on that. As a reminder, as we did the housekeeping rules, this is the agenda for today. I will discuss the capital and congestion pricing, which we just got some more update information just came in. Jason Anthony will discuss the contact the officials, MTA board, which is tomorrow, which is combined the committee and full board. Remind you, if you're going to attend, he's going to explain if you're coming in person and virtual, and I will help him out if there's any issues. Other business will discuss the PATH trains, the rumors, the A train and shuttle train reconstruction, Facebook group page, and the WhatsApp. As a reminder, we will be repeating this saying, does anyone have any questions? That will be the time to ask those questions. And to remind everyone, if you're not sure, you can always put them on the ADA group page as well. So let's get started at this time. I see a lot of people are coming in late or really not taking this seriously, which we are taking this seriously. As the ADA group page leader on this, it is extremely important that we still continue advocating for congestion pricing for seniors, people with disabilities, and veterans. As we just got this updated just now on the MTA Press, which is available if you just type in the MTA Press. This is some samples that they will discuss tomorrow, which you can watch the MTA board on the YouTube channel, or just go on to the MTA board page and click on to that day's dates meeting. The governor has already mentioned $100 million annual savings for funding for the 2025 and 2029 capital plan, which we'll discuss more later on at this time. Also, as the governor has approached the winning support of boarding, coast environment advocates, and business groups as well. There is a lot more, so I am not going to explain everything because we'll be here until next year. As the congestion planning toll was supposed to be possibly $15 billion over the time current MTA capital. That means we will be seeing more things coming in. Now, the date they said is January 5th, beginning that date, which is a stroke of midnight as well. So we are seeing what things are coming into 40% reduced to the tolls. As you know today, and anywhere you go, there's always traffic. During these times, these are the prices, and there will be more information regarding reduced fare pricing, which we will see more coming in soon. I will suggest that we will keep an eye on these information, but the facts has to be out very carefully and getting things accomplished. For example, passenger vehicles is $9. Motorcycles is $4.50. Smaller trucks at this time with the non-commercial buses will be $14.40. Larger trucks, as you know, will be costing $21.60. As you know, some of those larger trucks do cause a lot of accidents, a lot of damage to bridges, the highways, and you know that causes a lot of money to get things repaired, and especially the Valenzano Bridge. Nighttime discounts will go down to 75% of a day during the daytime totals, but this is all the information we have here. This also, with this funding, will help us bring continuing, which is still going on right now, but increasing faster and more funding for the Second Avenue subway up to East Harlem, which we all know will be 125th Street, Park Avenue / Lexington Avenue. The signal updates on the A and the C, the B, D, F, and M lines on 1 million daily rides. Accessibility improvements. Now, I was correct when I said it's supposed to be 20. 3 of those elevators are already being done. One was at Kings Highway. Rockaway Boulevard was not on hold either. And there was a third station that wasn't on hold. So it's 20 stations out of 23, which I was correct. And thanks to the two advocates who, Jason and Jesse, who did vouch with me, we were correct. It was 20 on this. So altogether, in which I have a little pop quiz question that someone can answer after, but not Jason. Accessible improvements, this would not just be elevators, this would be ramps, updating everything in the station. So everything will be up to date. And hundreds of new electric buses, which we'll see what happens because right now there are some running, some still have to get used to handling congestion on that. Everything here you see that's on this screen, it's on the MTA Press. So let me just move on so we can continue moving on this. This is what it will look like in the future with the air quantity. As you know, if we go into Manhattan, downtown Brooklyn, Flushing, Jamaica, upper some parts of the Bronx, it's always congested. Well, we need to make sure this stops because half of us who use Accessori can get stuck on the MTA bus. It is not fair. We pay our fares on these vehicles. We need to get somewhere on time and safe. The way we see these cars are being very dangerous, very reckless. A lot of this information will be continuing more tomorrow at the meeting. And there are procedures regarding the meeting tomorrow, which Jason Anthony will discuss in a little bit. But it is important that the proposal future reduces the traffic because enough is enough. You can't get anywhere on time. If say like it's rush hour, they have all three lanes going out to the city, but people who are going in, they're stuck. And it's very hard. Now, part of the proposal is they will be extending some more buses. In Brooklyn, it'll be the BM5, BM2, and BM5, the Sims for Staten Island, as you see. There is discussion they might have more additional buses that will be in Queens and the Bronx, but they have not announced that yet. That should be maybe announced between tomorrow or December. That we'll have to see. But I remind everyone, fare invasion can affect this too. So in express buses, there are been reports of fare evasion up by 30%. Now, as I'm going to mention the Capitol in a few minutes, some of you who already saw the Capitol, it is on the website, which I'll show in a minute. With this coming in, this will give us more advantage to get things accomplished. Updating our trains, updating our buses, updating the train stations, and that's including accessibility stations. As you know, there are a lot, and I'm going to mention those. As you know, right now, we adding 20 of those elevators that are on hold, plus the 60. Now, the question I'm going to ask Jesse Figueroa or Andrew Albert, if we have 60 already ready to go in, plus 20 that is on hold. I didn't ask you to unmute, sir, so please mute yourself. That's interruption. I didn't call you out. Yeah. The question is, I'm going to ask you both to please put that into the chat. How many is accessibility stations? And let me remind you, these are both the subway and the railroads combined. Please put those answers to the chat.
Okay, Jesse said 80.
Okay, I'm waiting for Kurzweil. Doesn't take a rocket science to know that answer.
Which one? What?
Andrew, nobody told you to unmute. I asked you to put it on the chat.
Chat.
Type it in. Wake up. 20 elevators that are on hold plus 60. It doesn't take a rocket science to know that answer. And I do remind everyone, unless you have a question, it's called use the hand. That's why God gave us a hand. Okay, I see we have two answers, right, Jason?
Yes, sir.
You're correct, everyone. It is 80. And let me just tell you, there might be more. So all I can say is the more the funding, the more accessibility. So let's remember that 80, if that 20 that's on hold, and I'm going to say on hold. So if anyone tells me I'm a liar, They can go take the F train. And they can go visit that person in Queens. And that's all I'm going to say. It is also very important that I don't want to hear excuses or inappropriate things. This Thursday, MTA will be at Brooklyn Borough Hall for the MTA Capitol open house from 4 to 7. I am challenging every person from the borough of Brooklyn to show up and be there. That means I better see veterans, disability advocates, community boards. And yes, I challenge all 18 community boards to show up their faces there. No excuses. This is important. You want things to be done? Show up. This is not the old times. This is the new MTA. And I'm going to say that every time. This is the new MTA. If we can get stations in Brooklyn like Church Avenue, Sheepshead Bay, and Queens, Rockaway Boulevard is being in construction. Woodhaven Boulevard is almost done on the J, and Woodhaven Boulevard on the M and R getting done. I think we can get things done if everyone gets your act together. And I don't want to hear excuses. If I have to hear excuses, I'm playing the violin like this is a drama time. I don't want to hear drama. I want to see things getting done. Our great legendary advocate, the late Edith Prentice, said, "Get over it and move on. Let's get things done already." Without the curse words. Okay? Now, before we ask Jason to do any of his magic, does Jesse or Andrew have any questions? Please raise your hand if you do. Going once. Going twice. Yes, Jesse.
Jesse.
No questions.
So why's your hand up? I said, do you have a question?
No, I don't. That's why I raised my hand. No questions, sir.
Okay, please remove your hand down. Thank you. Andrew Kurzweil.
My main question is something that might not be able to be answered yet, and that is the threat.
I think you already know there has been threat going on since the governor spoke. And I'm going to tell everyone, I'm going to say this now as a sample. And Jason, you can pop in when I say the same thing. As I said this again, these elected officials are forgetting the very important piece. Seniors, people with disabilities, and veterans who uses Accessoride.
I'm not talking about.
Excuse me. No interruptions when someone's speaking. Please let the person finish. As I repeat, I said this regarding the elected officials. It's been comment already. I don't want to hear elected officials and excuses or dramas because accessibility is very important because they have been forgetting us. Jason, you have spoken to some elected officials as well to answer that question.
That's correct, Chris. And remember, Andrew, the governor had said very clear in the press conference a particular group that even the MTA has been using recently, advocates. So let's not forget about that. Because the MTA and even the governor herself confirmed that the advocates are getting things done. It is not the 20th century like the New Jersey Transit Corporation is doing. This is the new MTA, the 21st century MTA. This is why New York is the Empire State. New York is the first in the nation to get things. And other states are the second, third, fourth to get in the trend. And this is why other states get so angry at New York of being the first.
Thank you.
Why do you think, Andrew, that we have a landmark called the Empire State Building? For that same reason. It's called upward.
Andrew, it doesn't matter where you say it. We give you the answer to the question. Let's move on because we go into this topic, we'll be here too long. Jason, since you already mentioned that piece, let's mention the MTA board procedure for in-person and virtual or putting their comments in which I have the screen on.
So, since that tomorrow, Monday, the MTA is gonna have, let's say, a non-traditional board subcommittee meetings. Both things are gonna be done tomorrow, Monday, instead of Monday and Wednesday. As you see on the screens, the link that's located on the right will be the one to register for the subcommittees. That'll be the all committees on one. And the link that's located to your left will be for the full board. Each link provides you a limited time of 35 minutes to register to sign for both in person at 2 Broadway or via Zoom. Both, or if it's on Zoom, just to be aware, like we are doing now, it gives you both options, in person into Broadway and Lower Manhattan, and on the bottom is virtual on Zoom. If you register to speak online, just to be assured, your comments will be recorded for the record. But let's assume, for the sake of argument, if you are unable to do both things due to, let's say, conflict for a schedule, you could email the board by clicking on the following link. You could put in your contact info, such as first name, last name, email address, and the comment that you want to submit to the MTA board. And as simple as that. But yours truly is going to do a separate video that will go into his YouTube channel, that this video is being broadcast simultaneously on his YouTube channel. That we're going to do a separate video regarding how to submit a complaint to the MTA regarding complaints about service, regarding where equipment is not functioning properly, where there's a poor communication, and things like that. But that will be for a future video. Another thing, rules of conduct. The MTA is one of those agencies that they are here very strictly to the rules of conduct. As we see here, every person has to register in advance, either when they arrive in person or registering in advance, either online or in person. Each person has 2 minutes, not like New Jersey Transit or the Port Authority that they have 3. Each person has to adhere to the agenda of that particular meeting. They cannot, I repeat, cannot insult or make personal remarks against anybody of the MTA board, staff, or any member of the public. Because if that person does it, will be removed from the boardroom. No questions asked. And people who might attend might be water or other non-alcoholic beverages. But the people who enter to Broadway might be subject to security screening. But most importantly, please arrive early. And now, how to contact your
Um,
elected yes,
Jace,
Chris.
before we proceed, we should ask, does anyone have any questions about the MTA board?
Questions, Jesse or Andrew?
Nothing from Jesse? Andrew? Okay, so, which elected official we're starting with, Jason?
Let's start with the assembly, state assembly.
Go ahead.
So reaching our beloved New York State Assembly is pretty easy. You could go to who is my assembly member, or you could enter your address, or you could go where it says assembly members. Let's do it the easy way. Go to assembly members. There we go. And you could see the whole list by last name or by district. And you have their district office, their offices in Albany, and you have their emails and social media links. And you could contact them regarding any issue that comes upon your issue. Especially here in the city that we are Andrew, what was the comment that you trying to address? You could unmute yourself. Ah. So there's certain assembly members that are pro congestion pricing, and there's some that are anti congestion pricing. Just to give you guys a bit of context from this list, you guys have a mixed bag here.
Jason,
So,
let's move on to the next elected officials.
so let's go to the state senate. Go to senators and committees. So over here in the state committee, in the Senate, Senator Jeremy Cooney, who is from upstate, he is the chair of the Transportation Committee. He is pretty supportive of congestion pricing. And who's up? So we have pretty much supportive state senators here, including Brad Holman Siegel, John Liu,
Liz Kruger.
Liz Kruger, who spoke during the first open house of the capital plan, among others. But it's very, very important to contact those that are against congestion pricing or those that are undecided regarding the issue. So let's go to the House.
Jason, can you do me a favor? Can you mute Debbie, please? Because her microphone is on.
Give me 1 second.
Thank you. Now we're going to Congress.
Okay, so over here in Congress, from okay, the first congressional district, that's Suffolk County. So everything from the first congressional district to the 11th, that's downstate. So you have Suffolk, Tom Swazi, he's Nassau and Queens. Anthony Desposito, he's Nassau and Queens. Gregory Meeks and Grace Meg, they are Queens. Nidia Velasquez, she is Brooklyn and Queens. We know that Hakeem Jeffries is Brooklyn. Yvette Clark, she's Brooklyn. Dan Goldman, he is my and Andrew.
Let's wait till
He,
you finish, Jason. Finish what you're doing.
Dan Goldman, he is my congressman. Nicole Minotakis, she represents South Brooklyn and Staten Island. Jerry Nadler represents Manhattan. He is very supportive of congestion pricing. Adriano Espaillat, he represents Manhattan slash Bronx. AOC represents Eastern Bronx and parts of Queens. Richie Torres, he is very supportive of congestion pricing, and he also, along with Adriano Espaillat, put some federal funding regarding accessibility. Chris, put it up a little bit. And from, let's say, District 15 to the first, that's all downstate, because from District 16 to 19, that's all Westchester County, Putnam, and all that. And obviously, the most controversial one is the 17th Congressional District. That's Mike Lawler. He's the one that is raising flags recently, since the governor announced the on pause of congestion pricing. So we need to put pressure on him and, let's say, wake him up from his dream and tell him that accessibility should be the top priority.
And Jason, this is Christopher Greif. Just to back you up, a lot of these elected officials, we're asking every advocate, if you do see them at your local community, and not just community boards, but any civic association meetings or down the road, please remind them that accessibility needs to be funded when they're on their neighborhoods, not just elevators, not just the buses and accessories, but the streets have to be more up to date and making sure that curb cuts are fully accessible, lighting, and some areas they use cameras for keep their community safe. How can we do that if NYPD cannot do that? So we're reminding you all today, and whoever's watching, it is important to let your elected officials know. And if you do bump into a press, accessibility needs to be mentioned more than ever. In the past, we only hear from 2 stations that mentions it. So we want to make sure that all of you are aware of what we're doing. We are asking you guys to make it clear that a message goes out to the seniors, disabilities, veterans who got to know that how can we move forward if we cannot get this funding? It is a communities that need to know the truth and nothing by the truth. So right now, I'm gonna ask, I know Andrew's hand is up, and I know we have questions, but before I do that, I want to remind everyone there are links on the chat box that I put up the elected officials links. So let's start with questions. Jason, you did excellent on this. I want to clear that for the record. I want to go to Andrew, and then if anyone else has any questions,
Chris, before I conclude,
yes.
for the record,
Hmm.
there is elected officials from both the state assembly and the state senate that 100% support congestion pricing and support accessibility, that have been with us since day one, like Liz Kruger, Andrew Gonzalez, that is my state senator, that's been very supportive. My Congressman Dan Goldman, that he has been very supportive. My Assembly Member Joanne Simon, that she has been very supportive since day one. Uh, Leroy Comrie from Queens, John Liu from Queens, uh, Brad Holman Siegel, Deborah Glick. There's so many people from the state senate and the assembly that have been very supportive of congestion pricing since day one. So if we have to contact those from upstate and from Nassau and Suffolk to let them know that accessibility is very important. And those from, let's say, the southern portion of, let's say, the Pascagoula Valley line and the Port Jervis line, the Metro North, they have to be contacted as well. Chris, you're muted.
Thank you, Jason. That is correct because some train lines that are parallel to us on the across on the water are partially us, but also Jersey Transit. So in the meantime, right now, let's start with questions. I know I see Andrew Kurzweil had a question. Andrew, you can unmute yourself.
Okay, my question is, okay, what are we going to do about Nicole Takis, who was one of the first ones as soon as this thing was coming back with excessive with congestive pricing, went right out and made sure she was, as a Republican, against it and everything else. She did that immediately.
We
Okay.
already repaired that because you see, we already had one of our members has contacted her. I have contacted her, and I know Deborah has contacted her as well.
Mhm.
And the reason I'm saying three of us who are actually here have contacted Nicole, and we reminded her that accessibility is the number one thing she needs to realize. Unless she wants to see the Valenzano Bridge goes tumbling down, that would be her fault, not worrying about the construction of the bridge. Because that funding, as I said in the beginning, I know Deborah just came in and a little late, as well as you came in late, Andrew. And as I said, the funding has to be not just the subways and buses and accessibility. It also has to cover street construction, curb cuts, the bridges, the tunnels. They all have to be repaired. How can we get that funding? She forgets that right now, if I go into Staten Island, even during the weekday or even sometimes on the weekend, there's traffic. There's traffic on the BQE going to the Valenzano. There's traffic through the tunnel, the bridges. Let me just tell you, there is still traffic, and they always forget accessory people or whoever transports them to where they have to go. They're stuck in traffic, period. So I hope,
Uh,
no, Oz, it's the truth. If you look at it,
no, I'm not talking, not saying that.
so what are you saying, Andrew?
Okay, you also have one. D'Esposito is out at the end of the year. It's going to a Democrat. It'll probably be easier to deal with the Democrat. Um,
Andrew, I'm going to stop you right there. And the reason I'm going to say we're not dealing with just Democrats, we're also dealing with Republicans.
oh,
And
I know that.
no, 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 no. Hold on a
I
second.
know
Andrew,
that.
Andrew, let me finish. Let's also remember one thing I said before. I'm not here to hear a DNR train. If I want to get on the DNR train, I can go to 36th Street, which the DNR does run there. Yes, and I know the N runs there, but that has nothing to do with it. The bottom line is you represent the community, you represent the people who live there. They have asked for an update curb cut, update cameras, update lighting, update the train station. And let me tell you, we have politicians, doesn't matter which party. And Andrew, can you mute, please? Because I'm having the reason is because I don't want to hear anyone talking because we are recording. The reason I'm saying this is it is important that our politicians and their staff are fully educated to know accessibility needs to be in there for carry words. I have never seen them mentioning it in their campaign. I am aware that elected officials are lost their election. That's not my concern because whoever represents, they have to take the burning of the fire. And I don't want to have to discuss this more and more because it will go on and on and on. And we have to get things accomplished. This is why Jason has mentioned earlier to encourage you guys to put in your testimonies in even online, send it to your elected officials, who you see, and pass the word out. I'm encouraging every advocate, every person to put it in and make sure that we get the funding. Now, does anyone else has any questions so we can proceed? Thank you, Jesse. Ms. Greif, do you have any questions? Ms. Greif? I guess not. She's frozen, I think. Okay. I think she agrees with me because she has the eye look, so I'm just gonna plead the fifth.
Yeah, same here.
Uh-huh. Okay, so Jason, since we got that done, let's get into other business. Want to bring this up to everyone on other business, which I'm going to remove the elected officials right now because then we can see more things. I'm just going to start with just to remind everyone, make sure you let everyone, if you are attending, if you're going to see elected official, make sure you go to this link. That's important. And I'm going to encourage you, everyone, that it is important that this is shared to everyone. This is why we ask you guys to please be there at this coming Thursday. And I don't want to hear excuses that things are not going to get done. That's not the way we talk. We deal with that. How can we get things done if nothing gets done? Speaking of getting things done, we do make a little history in the booking. Thanks to the four of us, actually the fifth one's not here, so I will say thanks to an ABC order version way, thanks to Anne, me, Deborah, Jason, and Jesse, an ABC order way. Starting right now, the PATH trains will be accepting people's disability reduced fare cards. And as you see, we didn't have to get elected officials to help us. We, the five, did it. And making this easy and getting things done is another way of getting it. Now, the reason this is on the screen here now, this just came on Thursday, I think, where Deborah, Jason, and me almost fainted. And Jason and I had to check our pulse too. Yeah.
After you, Kurzweil, leave the questions for the end. And after Chris, Demi, and left, the board voted for it, and it passed unanimously by the full board of the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. Nothing done in a bi-state agency in years. So this is a record, folks. And I'll let Chris to tell you guys when people will be able to provide them feedback regarding the reduced fare uh options for the path. Go ahead, Chris.
And thank you, Jason, for backing it up because these are the dates that are coming up. There will be traveling between New Jersey and New York. Right now, as you see, there's one in December 3rd, which we all know that's really hard to get to by Jersey. The other one will be at their headquarters in the Fort World Trade Center at 9 a.m., which I'll be going, the next one will be in their New Jersey City headquarters on December 5th, also at 9 a.m. And December 5th will be the evening, also back at the World Trade Center at 7 p.m. So all these public hearings also can be heard by virtual or submitted comments through the Port Authority's website. So it is everyone's choice if you want to attend or put your comments in as support. I will still remind everyone to please put something in so in the future, this is something that we can work with Port Authority, which we have done. So this is another accomplishment and made in history. But I say again, this is not just elected officials. These are a lot of things that we on this group, ADA Accessibility, has gone accomplished without the fighting, without the profanity. So let's just make sure this gets done. Andrew, you have a question on this topic, or I can move on.
Now, this topic.
Go ahead.
Okay, my question is, how are they implementing this, especially since most of the pet stations are unmanned?
Jason, you want to answer that question?
To answer that question, Andrew, uh, that's why they're gonna have public hearings regarding this. Because this is that because since PAF was created back in the 70s, they weren't they only had reduced fare for seniors, not people with disabilities. And since all four of us, in other words, Chris, Debbie, and me,
And Jesse.
Jesse, we came all of us together, spoke month after month after month at the Port Authority board meeting, both in the Jersey side and at Fort World Trade Center, advocating for this to come into reality. Now, they're asking the public to put their input to come of reality.
And just to add up,
But Andrew, since that they are their cards that they use right now is SmartLink, so most of the people they will be using let's say a reduced fare SmartLink, and those it's gonna be similar to what the MTA is doing over here with the reduced fare Omni card.
it's also Cupid. They'll also be part of Cupid. So there is a possibility that since Cupid is going to be is the same system and the path they have, we will see what will happen. And I will suggest we stay tuned to that once we find out next month's meeting. But as Jason has mentioned, this is accomplishment that took all five of us. Unfortunately, Ann is not here, but I just want to make that clear for the record because Jason, you said it correctly, excellently. But we do want everyone to please try to attend or put your written comments. That means I'm asking Jesse Figueroa to please forward that to the veterans. That link is right there on the chat. The reason is how can we get things accomplished if we don't know? It'll be nice if everyone attended today because this is an important today of getting things accomplished. You know, this is like We advocate, we fight for it. Andrew, is that the same hand raise or we can proceed?
You didn't fully answer the question, but I don't think you have the answer to the question. That's why.
Well, Andrew, your question, we just gave you the answer about the PATH train. We gave you the
You
answer.
gave me part of the answer. I think the other part you don't know yet.
I
That's
do
not your
know, but
fault.
Andrew, I'm
Not
gonna
your fault.
it is and actually not our fault, Andrew, but we just told you what they told us. This is the detail. You're going a little too ahead on the question. The question we just said to you is the PATH train will get a reduced fare for people with disabilities. The people will be getting the card, as Jason mentioned. The next step will be is they're gonna have to test it. We don't know who's gonna be the testers. That's a little too much express, but we just gave you the simplest. Andrew, if you unmute, please unmute
No.
unless I'm
I was
finished.
talking. I was talking more about quote unquote on the go, if you know what I mean. Versus,
Andrew, they don't call that anymore. It's called, as Jason mentioned, the name. Now, I'd like to finish, please, because I remind everyone, we can't just interrupt someone who's speaking. The PATH train has a senior reduced fare. People with disability will have a reduced fare, are incurring available just like for seniors. More details, as Jason and I said, will come more. When it comes more, we will let you know. But again, let's not jump into conclusions what we're saying. It is similar like the Omni card. It is Cupid as they use here. Nothing has changed. I don't know if they're going to merge it with us. That question, nobody can give you that answer because right now they have to approve it first, which Jason, you did say they voted. Remember, there was a second vote after the public hearing in December. This is just now a start of the roll. And just for the record, we did get a congratulations from the MTA, which we know we might hear this on Monday. So stay tuned. Now, I'd like to move on because we have other business to discuss. And this is regarding rumors that needs to stop and decease.
Chris, before you end, Chris wrote, you see where it says tap fare payment system? That's the new fare payment system for the path. That's let me see. That's where it says tap fare payment system. That's their version of Omni. But as of right now, they're only having it for, let's say, for credit and debit cards only, just like what the MTA did with Omni.
It's the same program as Cupid they use as us. As you said before, Jason, you are correct. But I'd like to try to move on unless we can hold that questions for later, because I do want to get to this rumor topic, and we do have two more topics I want to get done. Unless someone else has any other additional questions, we can hold on to that question till later. I'd like to move on to our next topic is the rumor stuff. Okay, because this is a serious matter. For the last, actually, that's the last month from now. Someone, and it's not one of these people in this room, so I want to make that clear. And no, it's not you, Jesse. So don't even go that direction. It's not you. We know who they are, and they're not here. And I'm glad they're not here. It's not even Debbie as well, because Debbie knows she doesn't do that, and we know it's not Kurzweil because he will say, there is a rumor going around. It is actually one of someone else outside, which I'm not going to say names. Whoever is saying that Andy Byford is coming back to the MTA needs to stop saying it and decease. I have spoken to him. He is not very happy that he has to hear that. And he has never spoke to the governor, who's here, Kathy Hochul. He never met her. So my question is to everyone is, and even watching this, please stop the rumors. He asked me to set this message out. Yes, he is not that crazy. We know that, Andrew. You don't need to say it. He has asked you, everyone, to please. He is fine where he is. He is on Amtrak. He is fine. Please, for everyone's sake, stop and decease. He is working with Amtrak with the high-speed trains. And actually, he's doing fine where he is. He will sometimes come up to New York to visit. But right now, he is extremely busy, and we might get him in the near future to come here. I don't know. But I am encouraging everyone to please stop that rumor. Period. If I hear it, I am going to stop you. If Jason hears it, he's going to stop you. If Deborah hears it, she's going to stop you. And trust me, I know how she's going to stop you. And Andrew will stop you. So please stop and decease. Now, let's move on to the next topic. The Rockaway rehab. As Jesse and I were there on the same day as when we were actually Port Authority. When Jason's with me, Port Authority, and Jesse's now with me in the Rockaways. I'll say this. Yes, the video is on the YouTube channel. Love the picture of the PowerPoint because I know who is on that PowerPoint. There's actually two of us there. That's Jason and us on the V67. The service changes what they're doing. As you know, that the train bridge, which goes from the South Channel, and they are doing some tune-ups to the North Channel as well. They are going to suspend a service to the Rockaways. Now, they are going to have buses. We can all say thank God. And this information that's on the screen here in front of me explains what they're going to be doing. The A train will be ending at Howard Beach. The Rock Park shuttle will be running every 15 minutes from Far Rockaway to Rock Park. If I click on everything here, we'll be here until next year. But what they're going to be doing is with all this construction they're doing from here, they are encouraging people to call or get on the newsletter here on the bottom that will give you any information you need to know. Now, this will not affect accessibility because they're also accessible reroutes. As Jesse heard this, Jason heard this too. Jason was actually on YouTube watching from that end. So you can say we all heard it. So to be prepared to everyone, they had this very clearly. And you see there had two meetings. Everybody know this one is coming up in person at the Beach Channel Association meeting, which I know that everyone's going to have to wear a suit of armor, which no thank you. It is important that everyone is aware that this service changes will not really affect everyone because you see since B67 has opened, it gave a second advantage. There are two shuttle buses. One's called the Q109 and one is the Q97. Both of them will connect to the Rock Park shuttle. Both of them will connect. One of them will connect to the B67 and get you if you want to go to Rock Park 116 or to Far Rockaway. Now, also as a little bonus, if I'm near Far Rockaway and I'm starting at Far Rockaway, and the reason I say I'm starting, even today, instead of me paying $5, I'm paying $2.75. And if I'm coming back, I better pay another additional $2.75. That's $5.50. That means I saved $4.50. How much does that save? And to let everyone know that people ask these questions, and I know Jesse and Jason will agree with me, looking like the questions we heard was the most inappropriate questions I ever heard. Andrew, you have to wait till I finish, so please hold on. Because Jesse had his hand up a few minutes ago and it went off, but he goes first and you're second. The concern of the construction they're doing in the Rockaways has to be done, or there will be no A train coming to the Rockaways anymore. Some of the communities are understanding this, but as you know, yes, Passenger United was there. They were listening. One member did act inappropriate. That's all I'm going to say. It wasn't the president. It was someone else. The bottom line is the community is asking a little too much and not understanding there's not one way to get out of the Rockaways. You see, there are a number of optionals, and they're also forgetting about accessibility. As you know, you have the Q52, the Q53, the Q35. You do have still, and then adding the 2 shuttle buses that do operate. You have not just one option, you have numbers of options, and the Long Island Railroad. I forgot to mention that. And you do have other buses there too. So adding additional 2 more buses will still get where they have to go. But if we don't get this fire duct fixed on that, it will be very, very messed up. So this is the information. If you want to be on their newsletter, go ahead. If you want to get their email, it's right over here, and I will copy and paste that here. But I will encourage everyone who lives in the Rockaways. This is only during the winter season, not the summer. So please, let's get this correct. Andrew, you had your hand up since Jesse disappeared.
Okay, question is, where were you able to get the 275 tickets? Only at the at Far Rock, or can you get it anywhere going to Far Rock?
One more time, I'm going to repeat. I did say this very clearly before.
Okay.
I said only in the Far Rockaway. You can
Okay.
only, because you have to start from there. You cannot
Okay.
you cannot pay $275 or the $5 city ticket anywhere else. You have to start from the Far
Okay.
Rockaway branch. It has not changed when they created and they opened up the city ticket there. Go ahead,
Chris,
and I will
another
remind
thing,
everyone to please pay close attention. Hey, Jason.
go to the New York City Ferries website because I know not us, but we should remind people that go to the tab and go ferry.nyc
Is it
because
there?
no. Open a new tab on your browser
Okay. Okay.
and go ferry. No, put in okay, bingo. And
Go
the
ahead. Say
first
what you're
one.
going to say.
People are forgetting that the walkway route
Yeah, that's what.
on the New York City ferry has 2 shuttle buses within the walkways that goes from the Beach 108th Street landing.
And as well as the Q22. Also, there's another Q22 that ends at Beach 116 that goes to the ferry as well.
Here's the interesting part. If you go to the walkways, it shows you everything. And also the wonderful thing about it is the ferry discount program. Those who qualify for the fares
And reduced fare.
discount, yeah, you see the route. It goes from Wall Street Pier 11 all the way to the walkways. No, in other words, Beach 108, which it takes you less than an hour. In other words, relatively 1 hour. And it arrives you within Lower Manhattan. So the current full fare is $4.50. But with their ferry discount program that they recently expanded it to those who have the Fair Fares program, seniors, I think, seniors, people
And
with
people
disabilities.
with disability.
Yeah, and also let me see. Jesse is coming back in. They pay now $1.45. And
Jason, can you please mute him, please? Thank you.
and the wonderful thing about this, Chris, that the person could benefit a 2-hour transfer.
I should know,
So
Jason. Debbie and I have that, so we are familiar with it.
so let's assume, for the sake of argument, if I want to go from the walkways all the way to Long Island City, I could get on the ferry at Beach 108, get to Wall Street, and then get on the East River route and get to Long Island City, paying $1.45. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes, it is. And as we said right now, we are, people are aware of this. But Jason, just to add in, just to let everyone know that yes, there is shuttle vans, but we also do have is the Q22 that comes from Far Rockaway, also splits and it ends there. But when the ferry is not running, the 22 will go to B6 169th Street, right outside the Marine Park Bridge, which you do see the 35 doing its spin, and then
Yes,
right then
Roxbury.
which is Breezy Point.
Yeah,
We
Breezy Point.
Yes. So in the meantime, this is something that we all need to be more alert on.
That's what it's called, options.
Yep. So those are all our things. I am still gonna remind everyone who's watching this that it would be nice to see you all attend, not just here, but when we do have these important meetings coming up or certain topics, we need other advocates to please come and attend. And I do mean commitments, because this is things that we have to concentrate on. And I have not stopped. Jason has not stopped. Jesse has not stopped. Debbie has not stopped. We're encouraging everyone to please. And if everyone, just to remind everyone, there is one thing I'll add. The holiday train will be starting in December, starting on every Sunday from first trip at 10 a.m. at Second Avenue Housing, going to 96th Street and Second Avenue. They will be, reminding everyone to please show respect to the train. Please remind yourself the information is there for accessible areas. If you are starting at 96th Street and Second Avenue, that train will leave there at 11 and it will arrive into Second Avenue Housing. You can stay on the same train. I'll remind you that the stations that are accessible are starting from 96th Street, 86th Street, 72nd, Lexington 63rd, Rockefeller Center, 34th Street, Herald Square. West 4th Street is accessible, but please note, because of construction, the elevator is not available on the downtown platform. You can switch to the F train or wait for the real D train to come in. Barre Lafayette will be your last accessible. But if you stay the train on Second Avenue Housing, you are fine. You don't have to get off. You can stay on the same train car because it will reverse back. But once you reach 96th Street and Second Avenue, you have to get off the train, because the train will go into a relay, which no one is allowed, not even me, into that relay. And there's nothing you can do in the relay because there's nothing to do there. It's just being in the tunnel. Nothing special. All this information is on the Transit Museum page. And I'm very pleased to see accessibility has mentioned that. Please try to make sure that listen to announcements if something goes wrong with the train. Let's pray it doesn't happen because it happened last year on the last trip. One of the second to last trips, but at least it got a chance to get some repairs, a little adjustment, and then park itself back to Second Avenue housing to stay there until it's ready to leave. So I hope to see everyone's going to be there in person, virtually, or putting their comments in. So it is important, and please please contact your elected officials on this. Jason, you have anything you want to add?
No, not right now.
Okay, before we proceed, does anyone else have any questions? Starting with Deborah Greif, does she have any questions? Deborah, you have a question? She's having a little mute issue problem, I see, because I think she's on her cell phone. Thank you, Jesse. A question?
Let me
No? Okay. She's shaking her head, Jason. Andrew Kurzweil, do you have any $1 million questions, or we're gonna fall asleep again? Okay, see, no one has no one other questions. We're gonna say to everyone, thank you for coming.
FYI, Jesse, the subcommittees and full board both are going to be tomorrow, Monday.
Everything in one time
That's
tomorrow.
what
Yes.
yeah, that's what it says here.
Oh, got it. Okay, I'll be working the volunteer desk tomorrow, so I'll be watching, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, and we did. I think Jason gave you the lesson training to put your email at the MTA board.
I was watching. Thank you, guys.
Okay, well, let's everyone remind you that you have those options as Jason has mentioned. So please let's follow it. So everyone, please enjoy your evening. Have a great night and hope to see you guys advocating for the future of accessibility. Have a great day. Have a good
Thank you.
night. Yes, have a good night, Jesse and Deborah and Andrew. Thank you, everyone. Jason, you can please pause the recording. Thank you. Oh. All right, Jason. So I will let me stop this.
Your mother's still muted.
Yeah, I know that.
Debbie, you can't mute now. The meeting's over.
Wrong way.
Right?
Jason, cover your eyes. Jason, cover your eyes. Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
she left.
Yeah, because I don't know what she's doing, and I don't know why is she on her cell phone. There's nothing wrong with the laptop. God, she doesn't. I mean, she can't. I'm gonna tell her, why are you using your phone? Stop using that phone. And my question is, here's my question. Where the fuck was everyone else today? Where's Nicole?
I think working.
how about the rest of them? I love the way they said, "Oh, I'm gonna be here." Bullshit.
Lip service.
Yeah, lip service. You can tell them. Well, thank God it's not recorded. So I don't have to worry. Jason's put the recording into the YouTube channel. Let's get it done so we can.
My YouTube is already done because since that Zoom has the capability to live stream it to my end. So now the only thing that I need to do is end the recording, end the meeting here, that I can send the recording to your end.
Not a problem.
That you could put it
listen.
on your end.
Yeah. By the way, tomorrow the accessory is picking me and Debbie up at 5:20 in the morning.
Okay.
Want to make sure I'm there. Because you know one thing I'm gonna get tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Making sure I have Starbucks coffee. By the way, how's the weather behind you?
It is already dark, and my
Not
toes.
excuse me. How's the weather behind your screen? You went right into that, Jason. You said it's dark. Everybody's gonna look at you like, why is he at Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh. I'm tired. I'm tired. Oh, this is a drainful. I I love the way that other people showed up and don't really care. So I might have to start removing people off the ADA group page.
On Facebook or WhatsApp?
Both.
Okay.
Because if you guys are gonna, it's like I hear Andrew mentioning certain things. I'm like, what the fuck does this have to do with us?
Which Andrew?
Not Kurzweil,
Ah,
the last one. And I bet you I'll see them all on the holiday train playing around. All of a sudden they have free time there, but they don't have free time when we have to do this.
that's for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so listen, I'll see you tomorrow. I gotta help. I gotta fix Ann's printer downstairs, so I want to get that fixed, and I want to make sure I get stuff ready because tomorrow's the meeting, and next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, first stop is I have to do the advisory council in person, go to Methodist, then the community board meeting. I'll be out all day on Tuesday, and Wednesday is to breathe. Thank God I could do this
Yep.
because Wednesday I see my doctor at the hospital, come home, go back to the hospital where community board 13 is meeting, and then come home. Thursday, TRC, the open house. Friday, breathing. Saturday, getting anything ready for whatever I got to do. Sunday, I'm on the test run for Metro North / Amtrak on Sunday. And Monday is the Brooklyn DD Council meeting. And then after that, we can all breathe from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And I'll hide under my bed somewhere saying, I'm sleeping, leave me alone. I might even get my flu shot just to, enjoy that moment.
Oh, I already got mine.
So how you feel?
Way better.
Yeah. The only person who can take my flu shot, it has to be someone from Walgreens.
I see.
Because the last time somebody did it in the hospital, almost took my arm out.
Yikes.
Yeah. So Jason, we did what we got to do. At least we got a decent attendance, but I think we need to work on the attendance.
Yep.
And just tell everyone else we don't want to hear your bullshit.
Yeah, we don't need to hear more bullshit. No more drama for us in 2025.
Yeah. And do me a favor. As of today, limited about on the service changes. If trains are suspended, fuck them.
Yep.
So right now, our focus and concerning our energy now is dealing what we have to do tomorrow.
Okay.
At least right now, Jesse's doing his job, so I'll take what I get. You know the old saying.
Yep.
Anyway, have a good night. Excellent work.
Thank you, Chris.
All right,
I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Yep, because I'll be there already.
Yeah, you probably will beat me by a lot.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to drop us. It says supposed to drop us off at 6:45. I know, in fact, they're gonna drop me off at 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay, and you know where I'm gonna be, right? First thing in the morning, going to Starbucks saying, "Give me my coffee, coffee."
Oh, yeah.
I said, "I need drugs. I need coffee drugs."
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna look at me saying, "Why are you here so mad early?" I said, congestion pricing. I'm taking this extreme serious
Mm-hmm.
because I want to make sure I get a good seat and go, ah. And people don't like getting.
I'm supposing that the rest don't know that the MTA is not gonna meet on Wednesday.
We're not recorded, are we?
No, we're
Good,
not.
good. Here's my answer to the ones who don't pay attention. And that's a warning flag. Or
Yep.
you see, if this letter was up here said take the F train,
Yep.
I'll go tell them, go take the B to the F line.
Yep.
Besides, I'm ready.
Yep. Same here.
Yeah. The main focus is I already spoke to DD councils, all 5 borough chairs, and all 19 county advisories. They already put into the email to the MTA board.
Yeah, but let's see if Sydney, their people, DIA, their people showing up.
Let's leave Sydney alone for one reason. Sydney using a little more common sense. You know what they did?
Yeah.
Some of them are not feeling well. Lydian, the one who's
Yeah.
blind, she's been very sick. So I want to please let's leave her alone. But Sydney had put in their email comments already.
Okay.
The reason I'm saying you can bitch on DIA, but Sydney has been the biggest help of all times.
Okay.
Because Q is happy. If Q is happy, we can all breathe. It's the rest of them who are playing drama.
Oh, let's not let's say let's not hope that this girl, Jessica Murphy, doesn't show up.
I'll take her over Charlton right now.
Oh, imagine if both of them show up.
Worse, Schwarzenberg shows up. All 3 shows up. Hell loose. And all I'm going to say is, Jason, do this. Get it?
Yeah.
Got it? Good.
I'm wondering how the queen is doing.
Kalia,
Yeah.
she's doing fine, but she's resting, healing her mental state.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, I'm not calling her tonight because she knows I've been busy and she knows how exhausted I am. But she's also I found out she already put her comment in.
Oh, I see.
Yes. right now with that hip surgery was intense. The only question that if we do see her there in person, we better say, all rise, the queen has returned.
Mm,
How
I'll
about
be
we just,
I'll be celebrating if she is there.
if she's there, but I'm going to be straight with us, just between you and me. I don't think so. But she comes, it's her choice. I can't force her.
Let's see.
I believe it when I see it, but at least victory is still going to be us. We still won. Because at least the PATH train will be easier to finally get on the train.
Mm-hmm.
That means I can have fun playing with another new toy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to tell them I want to sign up, and I'm going to tell them where I need to sign. I said, give me the card now. And I'm going to have fun with people and say, we did the job. You didn't do shit.
Yes.
And right now, the reason I'm getting all the curse words out now, because I know I'm going to hear a lot of idiots. Bunch of E trains, lots of Fs, and maybe a couple of R trains.
Mm-hmm.
But there's going to be a chance. The weather report is tomorrow. Is the chance of idiots.
Mm-hmm.
And a little bit of chance of assholes. All we
Tell
got to
me about it.
go. Our focus is stay on focus. If someone's going to start with us, you know what I just do to them? Under my mind, I said, you're an asshole. You know those chorus words you want to say in your mouth?
Yeah.
Just use your brain. Just look at them like this. You know this? You know what I'm saying? All the alphabet and the curse words.
Yep.
If I want to get mad, I'll just use the image and go with electricity and go.
Yep.
Excuse me. Good thing. Good thing. Good thing I took my medication.
Oh. Cherry slices.
Yes, I need it for medication reasons. In case
Mm-hmm.
some idiots were coming on.
But they never did.
Yep. That's fine. I bet you one day if I ask Bifor to come on to Zoom and do a question thing, everyone else will show up then.
Yep.
So you know what I'm going to say to some people? As the people in the Bronx always say, the 3 Fs. Fuck this, fuck that, and go fuck yourselves.
Yep.
So all I can say is if we do get Andy Byford, right? We have to say, all rise. The legend, the Sir Knight Train Daddy. Da da
Oh,
da.
guess guess who? Guess who went into my YouTube live stream?
Who?
Dark Disastrous.
He's on?
He was on my YouTube live stream.
Now you know why he didn't come on Zoom, because Debbie was on.
No. Because since that I simultaneously live streamed it on Zoom, no, on YouTube.
Same thing, same thing. I understand.
So since that I stayed focused here on Zoom, I ignored his questions on YouTube.
You
And
bad.
apparently he was the only one on.
Oh.
Too
Oh,
bad for him.
one problem, but now he's going to say I said something. I said I didn't say anyone's name. So if you want to say it, I'll say I know what I said. I said there was a member acted inappropriate. And that's the truth. Oh, geez, he was on.
No, and he
That's-
said if we if we and he said this at 5:09. He said if we are invited, we will come. I had a question. Does
Sorry, no questions on Passengers United. I'm sorry, you have to have a visa to come in.
so literally they weren't in as of 15 minutes ago.
Oh my God, he was on 15 minutes ago. Oh, that's why Debbie was thank God she came on because I think she did her face look like this. Charlton, where are you? I'm looking for you.
So let me end this that uh it could do its thing, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, I'll see you tomorrow. Buenas noches.